Hi, here we are with the causal argument essay. Remember, it's causal, not casual. A lot of people say, why are we writing a casual essay? It's not a casual essay, it's causal. The causal argument is to be a minimum of 1,500 words, in which you present and support an argument of causation as defined in Everything's an Argument, Chapter 11. So obviously, you need to be reading Chapter 11. Now, I'm going to be very honest about it. This is a little close to what the argument of fact essay was. In truth, I should say. The difference between the argument of causation and the argument of fact is pretty slim. Pretty slim. It's more one of emphasis than anything else. The argument of causation argues why something happened or what is the result of something happening. Whereas the argument of fact argues that a condition does exist, has existed, or will exist. The simplest way I can describe it is to look at global warming or climate change. An argument of fact says global warming is happening, or climate change is happening, if you prefer that wording. An argument of causation would say human activity is causing climate change, or you could also say climate change is going to cause environmental disruptions that will lead to disease, famine, death, and utter destruction of humanity. Something like that. Okay, but look at Chapter 11, look it over. Really, in many ways, the argument of causation could be two arguments. One is the argument that says why something happened. The other is the argument that says what's going to happen because of something, right? What I call reasons or results. Please look at my causation video for further discussion of this distinction. Now, your essay must cite a minimum of 8 outside sources. You notice that every paper we have, more sources required, right? So now we're up to 8. 6 of which originate in print or have print analogs. These sources must be presented in correct MLA fashion with both parenthetical and text documentation on a works cited page. Dictionaries, encyclopedias, and other general reference works do not count as sources. This time, please remember 4 of your sources must be from scholarly journals or scholarly books. They could be dissertations, they could be articles from journals, they could be excerpts from university press books, okay? Anything that's basically scholarly. So last time we had, I believe, 3. This time we have 4. Also, you must have a works consulted page with at least 2 sources. General reference works like encyclopedias and dictionaries may appear on that page. Works consulted is different from works cited. A works cited page lists all the works that actually appear in the essay. Works consulted would be for works that you looked at, they were helpful, they were relevant, but they did not get specifically cited in your essay. They were never quoted, they were never paraphrased, you didn't take anything specifically from those sources, but you want to acknowledge those sources. And that's what a works consulted page does. Now, general reference works may indeed appear on the works consulted page. This would be a place for putting encyclopedia articles, almanacs, dictionary definitions that were important, that kind of thing. Again, the topic will be a topic of your own choosing, but just as a reminder, there are a few topics that are off limits: abortion, death penalty, child abuse, and religion. Just as we did before, those are the forbidden topics. There are many other topics to choose from. You must provide a word count, by the way, at the end of your text. Again, don't fail to do that. It's really very, very easy, so that shouldn't be a problem. Do not include the name block, the work cited, or the work consulted in your word count. All right, I'm just interested in your composition. Now, you're to submit a proposal to me by Friday, July 23rd, 11:59 p.m. The proposal should be based on the instructions on page 275 of Everything's an Argument. Plus, I want to see an annotated bibliography with at least 4 sources, okay? So please keep up, right? Last time we did 3, but some of you didn't. You only did 2, and you lost points for that. This time it's 4. Now, an annotated bibliography means you're going to give me the citation, and then you're going to give me a paragraph of description and evaluation of each of those sources. Also, be sure to use the Tolman model of claim, reasons, and warrants in your proposal. We're looking still at Tolman, right? Let's make sure that we got that down pat. Claim, reasons, warrants. You are to submit a rough draft for peer editing on Wednesday, July the 28th. And as before, of course, the rough draft will be given to both me and to a peer group that will be created. Okay. Then you will have peer editing to do by Friday. So it's the same dates that we've done before, the Wednesday to Friday. Wednesday for the rough, Friday for the peer edits. Peer edits will be submitted both to the original author and to me, right, just as we did with the roughs. The more work you put into the draft, the better your final draft will be, right? If you just have a kind of a very shoddy rough draft, it's pretty hard to move from that to a really good final draft. The peer editing won't probably help you at all. Be sure to consult the out-of-class essay guidelines and the MLA handbook if you happen to have one, so you avoid errors in presentation and style. After the peer editing session, you need to revise and polish your essay and turn it in on Monday, August the 2nd, 11:59 p.m. No late essays will be accepted without the verified emergency or illness, right? So if you get hit by a bus, make sure you get a doctor's note. So the minimum requirements. Again, we're a little bit bigger than we were on the first paper, right? We're the same size as the second paper at 1,500 words. We have to have at least 8 sources, 6 of which originate in print or have print analogs. So that means it's a newspaper, it's a magazine, it's a journal, it's a book, it's a government report, something that either came out in print originally or as an analog, meaning it came out simultaneously in both. Right, so for instance, if you get the New York Times in paper, right, that would count. Or you get a New York Times article on the web, that would also count. Okay, it's that kind of a thing. Use our databases to help you out. At least 4 of these sources are from journals or books or dissertations. I don't have that listed, but dissertations would count as well. Okay, so we upped our ante, right? I'm sorry, the last time we did this, we didn't have to have any. The definition paper didn't require any scholarly work, but now we're back to requiring scholarly work again, just like we did in the fact paper. MLA documentation and the works consulted. Remember, the works consulted is done just in the exact same format as the works cited. You have the title, works consulted, centered at the top of the line. You use MLA format for each citation, double-spaced, hanging indentation, alphabetical order. The only difference is the pieces that show up on the works consulted page are not in the works cited page. In other words, they've never been used in the essay. Now, there may be some point of confusion. The 8 sources does not include what's in the works consulted. Okay? In other words, they are in addition to what are cited. That's a key distinction to make, okay? So if you say, well, I use 6 and then I put 2 in the works consulted, that's not good, okay? It needs to be 8 plus another 2. So really, if you think about it, you have to have 10 sources in total here, okay? Good luck.